Have you ever thought that a child, 11 years old, could live in a house that the entire world calls normal, but is actually daily hell? Harry Potter, the boy with the lightning scar, grew up in a cupboard under the stairs. Cupboard. Not a bedroom, not a safe place. A cupboard. While you're rewatching that moment when Dumbledore places the letter in Uncle Dursley's hands, have you ever asked yourself, did anyone splash cold water on their face and say, wait, who is taking care of this child? Or did the adults, those with power, with vision, just bow their heads, smile, and let Harry domesticate his own pain? The headmaster with kind eyes who set up magical protective arrangements, does he bear any responsibility? Is he an angel or a strategic manipulator? The shock here isn't Harry was beaten. The shock is a system surrounding him knew or could have known, but still left him there. You'll want to hear the reason. What magic protected him, and what magic silenced the adults who truly had the right to intervene. Who chose silence? This question isn't light. And the answer, if there is one, will make you sit up straight or suddenly understand why a legend began with a forgotten child. Hold tight, we'll go from the cupboard to the headmaster's office, open the files, turn every page. The perfect prison of Privet Drive. Privet Drive. A street so perfect it's suspicious. Straight fences, cut tanzas, grass cut to standard, and looks that say don't embarrass me in front of the neighbors. Privet Drive never has scandals. The lawns are cut exactly 2.5 centimeters. Trash bins roll to the street at exactly 6 a.m. And every house stays tightly closed except number 4, where a child's cries once rang out. And no one questioned it. Harry Potter, 11 years old, sleeps with spiders, nest the size of a suitcase. Just enough room for a child to store his childhood-like waste. Every meal is leftovers. Every piece of clothing is Dudley's hand-me-downs. Every mistake is paid for with locked doors and shouting, "You freak, you're nothing to us." Vernon Dursley slams the car door, face red with rage. Petunia pulls the curtain to peek at the neighbors, eyes wary. Everyone sees the boy is different. Neighbors gossip about his oddness, but avoid reporting rather than call the police. They don't want trouble, because trouble means people asking questions, and that would destroy. Privet Drive's fake perfection. The fateful night, Dumbledore leaves Harry with a letter. No knocking, no checking if they want to raise the baby. This is the safest place for the boy, handwriting beautiful to the point of coldness. Vernon Dursley tears up Hogwarts letters, stuffs them in the garbage. Heavy footsteps, the sound of wooden cupboard locks clicking. 11 years later, the most famous child in the wizarding world looks like an abandoned child. Baggy clothes, dark circles under his eyes, hunched posture, and everyone pretends not to notice. The Ministry of Magic, no one checks. Neighbors, no one reports. Professor Dumbledore, he knows everything, but doesn't come. Why? Because he believes. The boy needs to grow up away from fame. He needs to suffer so he won't be spoiled. In Dumbledore's office, thick files, a line reading, "Monitor Harry Potter, do not intervene." A steaming cup of tea beside it, gone cold because the owner doesn't bother to drink. This isn't just negligence, this is intentional. Child raised like a prisoner. Not a mistake, but a strategy. So let's ask, is Dumbledore a kind teacher or a cold strategist? Nurturing the boy who lived like raising a weapon? If this were a movie, he wouldn't be the Godfather. He'd be the puppet master. The secret files, imagine you find a dusty file folder on the great headmaster's desk. Blue ink scrawled all over. Harry Potter periodic reports. Surprised? Someone has been monitoring the boy for 11 years? A neighbor woman writes, "The Potter boy is too thin, locked under the staircase." The letter flies to Hogwarts. An owl lands at the window. A shadow takes the letter, places it neatly on Dumbledore's desk. What does this mean? It means the white-haired old man knows everything. Knows Vernon's growling, knows Perchinier's cupboard imprisonment, knows Harry eats watery porridge instead of proper meals, ... But instead of intervening, he just ... nods. Yes, good. The boy won't be arrogant. Harry is punished, kneeling outside in the rain, while in Hogwarts Castle, Dumbledore raises a glass of plum wine, quietly watching the night. The most chilling moment isn't when Harry is abused. It's when we realize it was part of the plan. A plan to create a savior who must be forged through loneliness, wounds, and a little despair. The night Dudley and his friends chase Harry, a mysterious old woman, possibly an Order of the Phoenix member, sits on a park bench. Sees but doesn't help, only muttering. He must learn to take care of himself. An 11-year-old boy turned into a lab rat in a giant psychological experiment. And ask yourself, how is this different from a hidden villain script? You thought Harry was a child protected by magic? No, he was only protected just enough to not die, but also never be happy. Why? Because a boy who knows love, knows pain, knows loss, will become the perfect weapon against evil. The greater good, have you ever heard? Suffer a little to get used to it. You'll be stronger later. Sounds like good advice, right? But when applied to an 11-year-old orphan, it sounds like a life sentence. Dumbledore isn't evil like Voldemort. Doesn't kill people with gleeful laughter. Doesn't cast death curses. He's a bit worse, he's right.
Out.
Dumbledore in his office, stroking his long beard, surrounded by dozens of secretly taken photos of Harry through the years. He believes that love, the most magical power, is only forged through suffering. Harry must experience a childhood full of indifference, so he'll later value friendship and sacrifice himself for others. And the most cruel thing, he doesn't hide that he's controlling the boy. He just smiles, bends down, and says warm things like, "I've always believed in you, Harry." The psychological trap here isn't Dumbledore's evil. He's not evil. The trap lies in our willingness to forgive good people when they do harmful things. As long as they have beautiful enough reasons to save the entire wizarding world, is it worth it for one child to suffer? Worth it to whom? Worth it to the decision maker? Or to the child who gets no choice, who says childhood trauma isn't beneficial? At least it helps you exclaim, "Wow, this ceiling has flying candles," instead of tacky country furniture. Dumbledore creates a messiah complex that Harry never chose for himself. The boy was unloved enough to become a hero by choice. He was emotionally starved, so he could untwine. He could become anything other than a hero. The Stockholm Syndrome, you know what's funny? Harry still loves the old man. Even after learning he was a pawn in a bigger game, we often forgive those who hurt us. If they're smart enough to make the pain look like a noble mission. Scenes of Dumbledore's kind laughter, Harry's trusting nods. Interspersed with Vernon slapping Harry, Dudley shoving his head in the toilet, Petunia throwing Hogwarts letters into the fire. 11 years of family abuse isn't just necessary sacrifice. It's a living proof that Hogwarts is better at teaching children how to die heroically than live happily. And Dumbledore, with all his wisdom, still chose silence. Congratulations, most prestigious magical school of all time, where children are carefully prepared to face evil. But no one teaches them how to face ... themselves. Sometimes the most frightening thing isn't the darkness out there, but those who are seen as the light. Leave a comment, and do not forget to subscribe to Fictional Depths, so we can continue decoding characters who seem familiar, but turn out to be very unfamiliar.